All right, thank you. Mr. Brooks, do you have any questions for this witness?
Yes, I do.
As if there's any possibility he
First of all,
wouldn't.
good morning
Good morning.
and happy birthday.
Thank you.
Oh, it's
Um,
so gross.
you stated that you were hanging out with your friend Miss Corey on the day of this incident, correct?
Yes.
Would it be fair to say that you were hanging out drinking?
Yes.
Would it also be fair to say that you
We're
occasionally
drunk?
drink too much?
Oh,
Sustained.
God. Yeah, really.
Would
Why
it
does
be
that
fair to
matter?
say that? Well, let me back up. What
Well, I guess it would matter because it could affect her testimony, like how she remembers the events.
I
So
guess
yeah,
so. That's such a reach. There's no none of her testimony about her drinking is gonna help him in the slightest. He's just trying to attack her character. It's so disgusting.
I like that cop's facial expression in the background. It's like, here we go.
Yeah.
I'm strapped in for
so
the
so
ride.
Miss Patterson, would it be fair to say that you're a fucking bitch?
What? Uh,
Is it true that I fucking hate you? The
would
fuck,
it be fair
this
to say
guy.
that you saw a sexy man that day?
Would
were
it be
you
fair to
drinking?
say that you're thriving for this stick? That you're honing for a boning by the D man?
A Mike's Hard beverage.
I love the way she says that. Trying to sound all proper on the
Were
record.
you
I
aware
had one
that
Mike's hard beverage.
Yes.
One Mike's hard alcohol beverage drink.
It's fancy.
um, it was said that you were actually drinking vodka?
No.
Hold on. When there's an objection, I need to
Oh
remove it first,
no.
okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Sustain that mischaracterizes the previous testimony. Next question.
So it would be fair to say that you were drinking.
Yes.
Would it be fair to say that you were a little intoxicated?
I was not.
How much did you drink that day?
One of a Mike's Hard alcohol beverage.
And around what time of the day was that?
I don't remember.
Was it shortly before meeting up with the alleged defendant, or was it sometime before?
It was before.
Was it a Mike's Hard lemonade raspberry? Aha!
Gotcha.
Did you have anything to drink after?
No, I did not.
You stated that you were engaging in a conversation with the alleged defendant via the telephone. Would that be fair to say?
Yes.
Texts, phone calls.
Yes.
Texas.
Were those texts and phone calls of what nature were they of?
Me and Mr. Brooks were arguing throughout the day.
In the texts and phone calls,
Yes, we were.
Texas.
if there were, if the conversation was argumentative, why
I like how his hands giving her instructions.
Yeah. A lot of people in the comments say he has little lady hands, and he definitely does. Like, I was expecting him to show up with those long ass nails painted one day. He shows up with a wig on. Third party intervener, I am not Darrell Brooks. I'm Darlene Brooks, the
Judge, would it be fair to say that I'm a beautiful woman?
lawyer.
and I should
Would
be
it be fair to
excused to
say-
leave this courtroom.
Is it true that I'd fuck me? I'd fuck me hard.
Why would you agree to meet up with the alleged defendant?
I do not know.
Do
Victim
you
blaming.
recall how the meetup was supposed to be set up?
I don't recall.
Did you at any time ask the alleged defendant to meet up with you?
Well, I told Mr. Brooks where I was.
Did you at any time ask to meet up with the alleged defendant?
No, I did not.
So it would be fair to say that the alleged defendant just came where you were?
Yes, I told you we were. And obviously, we were going to hang out. I never told Mr. Brooks to hang out with me. I told him where we were.
So why would, if there was an argumentative conversation prior to you meeting up with the alleged defendant, why would you tell the alleged defendant where you were?
Again, victim
Sustained.
blaming. It's like shifting blame. Like it's her fault that he told her where she was.
You just stated that you really don't know the city of Waukesha. Would that be fair to say?
Yes,
So how would you know exactly where you were?
because I was with Corey and she's familiar with this area.
Would it be fair to say that Corey overheard these conversations between you and the alleged defendant?
Yes, she's my roommate. She heard every conversation almost.
You say every conversation, what would that?
When she was in the room with me, when I was always talking to her.
So it would be fair to say that you were engaged in conversation with the alleged defendant before you even left the women's shelter?
Yes,
And those argumentative conversations continue into your hanging out?
yes,
Would it be fair to say that that's what led you to drink?
no,
Would it be fair to say you were drinking because that's what you wanted to do?
yes,
Is it true that one of the rules and requirements of being at the women's shelter is no drugs and no alcohol? Would that be fair to say?
yes. But when I was drinking, I was at Frame Park. I was not at the women's shelter.
Would it be fair to say that you knew you had to come back into the women's shelter at some point that day, that they have a curfew?
Yes, and I made it before curfew.
Let me back up a little bit.
I hate that he does this.
You
Like
did
tries to
state
insinuate that
that
she's gonna get kicked out of the women's shelter just because she went and had a beer somewhere. Like, even if drinking was against the rules, I highly doubt anybody's gonna chastise her for going to have one beer when she's getting over fucking domestic abuse. Some of the women that go in those places, I don't know if you've seen it, but some of them like are near death, and they're still in the mindset, like the cycle of abuse to go back to them. I've heard that some women, when they go into these shelters, they don't even like come out of their room or talk to anybody for like the first week. They're literally just like learning how to be alone again, like learning how to live life without their partner. It's like detox from their fucking significant other. It's so depressing.
It's weird.
Thank God that she got into this shelter and met Corey and Kirby, and fucking they were able to pull her away from him this day, because like I said before, he would have straight up fucking killed her eventually. She would not be here right now.
part of the rules and requirements for being in the women's shelter is no drugs and no alcohol, correct?
Yes, it was not in the women's shelter.
That's not what I'm asking. It's part of the requirement and rules of the women's shelter, no drugs, no alcohol.
Yes,
Sustained. Next question, Mr. Brooks.
So glad Witchow was there to like do the best he can to shut
Is
some of
there
this
any
down.
type of drug and alcohol testing at the women's shelter?
I don't know. No,
No, or you don't know?
I don't know.
What is the relevance?
Would it be fair to say that if it was found that you were engaging in drugs and alcohol, that you might have lost your place at the women's shelter?
I'll object. I don't see how this is relevant.
Sustained. Next question.
Thank you. Daisy's got the sad grandma face on.
So around what time were you hanging out with Miss Corey, you said?
I don't remember.
Do you remember where you were at?
Frame Park.
Do you remember where in Frame Park?
No,
And approximately at what time did you meet up with the alleged defendant?
I don't remember.
How long were you with the alleged defendant? Do you remember that?
Approximately 35 minutes.
Do you recall what? Well, you said that during this time you were with the alleged defendant that there was a argument going on. Would that be fair to say?
Yes,
Do you remember what that argument was about?
He was arguing with me about money because I did not bail him out.
Fucking loser.
You also said that well, let me back up from that a little bit.
Oh shit, Chester, Mr. No React Cop is in the back now.
If you
I
They
just
switched
noticed-
out, I missed it.
Yeah.
knew that the conversation was becoming volatile, why did you still meet up with the alleged defendant?
I don't know.
To your knowledge, did the alleged defendant know anything about the city of Waukesha?
Yes.
And what did the alleged defendant know about Waukesha?
He told me, Mr. Brooks told me that his first child's mother lives in Waukesha.
Do you know that to be a fact?
No, that's just what Mr. Brooks told me.
Are you aware that the alleged defendant in fact has no mother of any child that lives in the city of Waukesha?
Objection, if Mr. Brooks wants to testify, he should do so in a different state of the trial.
It's the same.
Nice.
You don't need to answer that.
Yes, ma'am.
So he's officially accomplished
Other
nothing
than
but
what
admitted
you can
evidence to
recall
suggest that
what the
he was
alleged
familiar with
defendant
Waukesha. This line of questioning has done nothing but hurt him so far. It's cemented the fact that he's a controlling and abusive boyfriend, and also put facts to evidence that he did know the city of Waukesha, despite his multiple claims to the opposite of that during his interrogation. So, more lies on the record, by the way. God damn. He sucks.
told you
He
that
literally is just, he wants to fucking hurt her credibility and her fucking character so bad. He is so ready to sacrifice his defense. God damn. It's disgusting, man. I
they
hate
knew
it.
about
I hate it.
Waukesha.
He has an L on his shirt for loser.
Yeah, he's taking L's right now, too. Very, very fitting.
How did the alleged defendant meet up with you in the location that you gave?
Mr. Brooks already knew where Frame Park was. Mr. Brooks previously had been to Waukesha plenty of times before. He's told me that.
And when was that told to you, and what conversation? Was it that day?
Before that, I'm not sure which day it was. I just know he knows about Waukesha.
So, would it be fair to say that when you told the alleged defendant where you were, that the alleged defendant knew exactly where you were?
Yes.
And how would the alleged defendant know that?
Because Mr. Brooks already knew Waukesha, he knew exactly where to go.
Yeah, ask
Did
and
you at
fucking
any
answer.
time give directions where you may have been?
How could I give directions when I barely knew Waukesha myself?
Is that a no?
That's a no, sorry.
That's okay. Thank you.
So, if you barely knew Waukesha yourself, where did you get the information of where you were from, where you were at the time of the conversation via
Fucking Google?
telephone?
I left the women's shelter with Corey, and she knows that location. She told me what Frame Park was. I didn't know the name.
And would it be fair to say, assuming from what you just said, that you were with the alleged defendant for approximately around 30 minutes or so?
Yes.
And during that time, did you make any disparaging remarks or anything to entice the argument to escalate?
No.
In his mind, it's all
So
her
you didn't
fault.
say
She's the
anything
one
at
that
all
escalated
during
it.
your 30 minutes with the alleged defendant?
No, because I was crying the whole time because Mr. Brooks was yelling at me, arguing with me.
and hitting her.
So you said absolutely nothing at all.
I was crying the whole time.
Did you say anything?
No.
Isn't it true that this incident is all your fault?
Well, she called him a poopy head, so
No.
case dismissed.
Yeah. Isn't it true that if you hadn't gotten me so mad, maybe I wouldn't have driven through that parade? Isn't it? Isn't it true, Erika? Bailiffs, take her away.
More questions.
Like Judge Darrell's like, oh, I see we've bagged the wrong person. Looks like someone was a bad girl and had a Mike's Hard Lemonade and called her boyfriend a poopy head.
Mike's Hard Beverage. Alcohol.
She looks at her like, you knew you shouldn't have done that. That's not allowed at the shelter.
You said that during this, well, once you had got out of the vehicle, as you say, you stated that your friend Miss Corey pulled you away from the vehicle because it swerved.
Yes, it was in the video.
You do
Tried to
know
hit her
that we
again.
just saw the video. Would that be fair to say?
Yes, but there's 2 angles of the video.
Well, we only saw one, so I'm referring to the
Yes,
video that we saw.
Corey pulled me out the way when Mr. Brooks made a U-turn, and you almost swerved into Miss Patterson, which is me.
Would it be fair to say that the video does not show that?
There's
No.
different angles, but the video does not show that. The video we watched.
So the video that we just watched, that the jury just saw, there is no swerving of the vehicle and you being pulled back. Would that be fair to
From
say?
that far angle, you can kind of see it. Yes.
Would that be fair to say? That
Yeah.
there's,
Answer the question, Mr. Brooks. Next question. Under 906.11, sub 1, sub C, I direct your attention to that next question.
do you recall what was said during the altercation between is it Miss Corey and the alleged defendant?
No, I don't remember.
Would it be fair to say that you were standing right there?
Yes, I just don't remember what was being said.
Do you recall reporting anything that may have been said during that incident?
No.
Did you give a statement to anything that may have been said during that incident?
No.
Was anything directed towards you verbally in that incident?
Yes.
Gaslighting.
Corey told Mr. Brooks, don't ever hit my effing friend again. I remember that part. That was in the beginning.
Do you remember anything else that may have been said?
No.
The cops switched again.
Do you
Oh,
recall
yeah.
anything
What the
being
fuck?
said
He's like
by,
Houdini.
Nick to the alleged defendant?
No.
Do you recall the alleged defendant saying anything
He
to
probably
Nick?
went poop.
No. I don't remember.
You also stated that right after this incident, you talked to law enforcement. Would that be fair to say?
Yes.
At any time, did you report any abuse?
Yes.
And what did you report?
That you hit me?
And you gave a statement to that effect?
No. Not to that police officer, but the detectives at the women's shelter.
Well, I'm referring to right during, well,
Oh, I don't
directly
remember.
after the incident.
I don't remember what I told that police officer.
Just one quick second, I'm reading from the statement, if I may.
You may.
He's doing the typewriter reader thing. He moves his whole head as he reads.
Do you
Which
remember
goes to
what was
show that
said
he's
by
not prepared. He's like reading reports as he comes up with
the
these
alleged
questions on the
defendant
fly.
when that incident ended?
No, I do not remember.
Do
What
you
color shoes
remember
were you wearing?
reporting in your statement that the last thing he said to me was "F-U-B, erase my number"? Do you remember that?
I don't remember.
That was mean of you to say,
Would it be
wasn't it?
fair to say that you
Wasn't
reported
it?
that this was said?
I don't remember.
Do you remember giving a statement to that effect?
No,
Would it be fair to say that you gave a statement?
no, I don't remember. I gave a statement to the detectives at the Women's Center.
So
That's
would
what I
it be
remember.
fair? I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Are you done answering?
Yes,
All right, next question.
Would it be fair to say that your memory is kind of cloudy of that day because you were intoxicated?
no,
There's a lot of things in this statement that you don't seem to remember. Is that fair to say?
Objection, that's argued.
Sustained. Next question.
That woman behind Wichow always looks like she's crying. You notice that?
Yeah, I wonder what her association is. And I was wondering when I watched this if she maybe ran the shelter or something, because she does look like she's affected by this testimony.
She's affected through a lot of the trial.
Do we see her at other moments? This is
Would it
the
be fair
only
to say that you
section I recall seeing her in.
She sits there through much of the trial, yeah.
Hmm.
She looks like she's gonna cry all the time.
reported two different incidents?
yes,
Do you remember the dates of those incidents that you
the
reported?
20th and the 21st.
Would it be fair to say that there was no incident on the 20th?
No,
Gaslighting.
Would it be fair to say that you were initially not truthful with law enforcement?
no,
Do you recall making a statement to law enforcement on November 22nd, 2021?
I don't remember. I made the statement on the 21st of the day of the parade when I met the detectives that night.
Do you recall making a second statement the next day, or the next morning rather, which would have been the 22nd of November 2021?
Yes, I did actually. Yes, I did.
Do you recall what you reported that day?
I told them about the 20th when I met with Mr. Brooks, and all we did was argue. And you did me then too.
So you reported incidents for 2 days in a row.
Yes,
Do you recall at any time telling law enforcement that you were not truthful and wanted to be truthful at that point?
no,
So you never made a statement to your knowledge that
How is this still going on?
you
I know, he's just like
fabricated-
asking the same questions he asked during his when he calls her as a witness. Like it's
no.
literally the same bullshit.
1 second here, I'm reading from you.
No evidence to help him in the slightest, too. Did something happen on the 20th?
To the
Did
best
you drink?
of your knowledge, do you remember
Did you lie in the
talking to
reports?
Detective Brent? I don't want to butcher this name, Your Honor. I don't know how to pronounce it.
You can spell it if that's helpful.
A detective, Behrendt.
Detective Barrett? Is it a detective or an officer?
It says detective, Your Honor.
Okay, ask your question.
Do you remember speaking with that detective?
Yes,
Do you remember what you reported to that detective?
I don't remember.
I'm reading directly from the statement, Your Honor, if I may.
Ask your question.
Do you remember reporting to that detective saying you were not completely forthright with all of the information that you had given because you were afraid to get other people involved in your drama or your business?
I don't remember that.
And I'll object and move to strike based on the fact that I think I'm safe in saying that that is not from the report which the defendant is referring to.
The
He asked her
objection
about
is
this in the
sustained.
fucking.
I'll move.
He asked her about this when he recalls her too. He's literally just. He repeats these questions all over again. He insists on recalling her. Literally just wants to fucking put her through this as much as possible. It's so gross.
And where is he getting that? If that's not from the statement in question, then what is that from? What is he talking about? You just make it up?
I don't fucking know.
I'll grant the motion to strike by the state of the question and any response that may have been elicited before I address the objection.
Your Honor, quick question on that. I'm reading directly from the report.
Yeah, we know.
That's not a question. It's a statement.
Oh shit, watch out, it's gotta help him. He's getting help from the prosecution team. So pathetic.
Next question, Mr. Brooks.
Just 1 second, Your Honor.